Good morning. My name is Specialist Murrell, and I'll be conducting a brief on diversity today. Everything in this brief is unclassified. Classified information would not be leaked out. The risk for today is low. The risk assessment. Be aware of where you place your drinks. Make sure you don't spill your drinks around your computer or your phones. Don't stay at the screen too long. Make sure you are looking around. Make sure your area is clear of items so you don't trip or fall. Stay hydrated. Continue to drink water while this brief is being conducted. For emergency situations, in case of an emergency fire, make sure that you drop everything and get out of the building as soon as possible. After that, call the local authorities. Call your NCOs. In your case, this would be either Staff Sergeant Lopez or Staff Sergeant Cerner. In case of an emergency shooter, remember to run, hide, and if necessary, fight. The tasks, conditions, and standards for today's briefing. We're in a classroom setting. The standards are to understand the meaning of diversity. Also to understand what has been done to increase diversity in the workplace. The purpose of this brief is to help the classroom understand the importance of diversity. By the end of the brief, you will understand different laws about diversity, military, and social variables. Before I get too far into this brief, I do want to give you an encouraging quote. This quote is, of course, by Maya Angelou. It is time for parents to teach young people early on that in diversity, there is beauty and there is strength. This is something to encourage you and also to get you thinking about what we're going to be talking about today. Understanding diversity. What is diversity? Diversity is knowing that nobody is the same person. Knowing that we all have similarities, but those similarities are still different in their own unique way. Diversity can be seen in many different forms, such as sex, religion, gender, and the different languages you can speak. The picture to the right shows multiple forms of diversity. As you can see, there are age difference, gender, male and female, the color. We have some Asian people, we have some African Americans, Caucasians, and religious belief. As you can see, it shows that they're praying inside the picture, right? The importance of diversity. A difference in religion, sexual orientation, language can create barriers in communication, right? For example, what if a soldier was bisexual and you didn't know how to approach that soldier at the time? It just made you feel a little uncomfortable, right? The person's sexual orientation has stopped you from being able to communicate with that soldier. So just think of ways as you're sitting down listening to this brief of how to be open-minded the next time you come and talk to somebody that maybe is just a little bit different than you are, right? Military variables. Racial and ethnic minority groups made up to 40% of active duty military in 2015. That percentage is a 25% raise since 1990. Military variables continue. The Army uses the Army Diversity Roadmap. The mission for this is to develop and implement a strategy that contributes to the mission readiness while transforming and sustaining the Army as a national leader in diversity. The vision was to investing and managing talent, valuing individuals, and developing cultural appropriate soldiers and civilians. Social variables. Two forms of social variables could be racism, something that's highly seen in today's society. Not being able to respect somebody because of the color of their skin. Or culture and tradition. If you look at the second thought over here, you have two men bowing to each other, right? Asking the question now, what now? That shows us the lack of understanding and lack of knowledge that we have when it comes down to different traditions and cultures. Laws concerning diversity. I'll be informing and talking to you about Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Civil Rights Act of 1991, and also the Equal Pay Act of 1963, and what these acts have done to us as people to help us succeed in life. The Equal Pay Act of 1963. This protects men and women who perform substantially equal work in the same establishment for sex-based wage discrimination. So think of it as women that come into the Army every day. Soldier 2020, right? Allowing females to come in and do the same jobs that men have. But also think of it as allowing these females to get paid the same wages that they deserve because they know that they can do it, and now we're allowing it. This prohibits discrimination on account of sex in the payment of wages by employers engaged in commerce or in the production of goods for commerce. Title VII Civil Rights Act of 1964. This act stops employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. This act was first proposed by John F. Kennedy and later signed by Lyndon B. Johnson. It paved the way for other civil rights, such as the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. Now, what did these amendments do to help us? The 13th Amendment helped abolish slavery. The 14th Amendment made former slaves citizens. And the 15th Amendment gave all men the right to vote regardless of color. Because of these acts, soldiers like myself have been awarded the opportunity to be able to speak to you today. The Civil Rights Act of 1991. This provides monetary damages in case of intentional employment discrimination. The act helped strengthen the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Presented trial by jury in discrimination cases and was the first opportunity to collect emotional distress damages. So in summary, you have been taught the different forms of diversity. You have been given information on multiple laws concerning diversity and understanding of how they have affected diversity, as well as receiving information on different variable impacts. This concludes my brief today. Are there any questions? For the AAR, can I get 3 improvements? Can I get 3 sustains, please? Thank you.